Hey there, Georgie Rowe here from the Australian rowing team and world record holder on the Ergo. I've got a few records myself, so I've got the 30-minute, the 5K and the full marathon, so it's fair to say I know a few things about how to row this machine. Join me on the Ergo to do a full body workout that's low impact and super efficient.
So, lunch break, and we've got Chad King, the head coach for the Australian James Loveday, who is the lead coach. So welcome to you guys. Chad, you've got the microphone. Can you tell me
about doing some work over here, and the rest is history.
So did you know
I knew of Chad when
Did you work for British Rowing as the para lead coach?
Thank you. I was there to GB and started coaching over there then, and then headed back home after Beijing.
So your history here, you're actually a Brisbane boy. No, you're a Penrith boy.
I'm a Penrith boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. But
currently reside in Brisbane though. Very happy up there.
Yeah. And your time in Great Britain, you were there under the direction of David Tanner.
That's correct. Yes.
Before he became Sir David Tanner.
That's correct. Yes, absolutely. Really enjoyed working with David over in Britain. Learned a lot from him in GB, and really thoroughly enjoyed my time over there. So.
Obler and Paul Thompson days.
That is correct.
Yeah. So how closely do you and James work on a daily basis?
Probably too close, to be fair. No, look, we probably, even though James is based in Canberra and I'm based in Brisbane, we speak probably 2 or 3 times a day most days, and we've got clearly our crews are based all over Australia at the moment, but we need to keep that level of communication up just so that we're on the same page at all times, and we're giving out the consistent messages to the athletes and things like that.
So James, the growing number of para rowers, that's part of your remit, or you're only looking at the top end?
It's a bit of both of us. A lot of the work that we're doing at the moment is working with schools, clubs, helping people identify para rowers that could be eligible for the sport, and then putting them through a classification process, making sure we find support for them in a pathway, whether that's using the state institutes or using the clubs that
classifiers in Australia these days, because I remember classified.
So we've run 3 in the last 6 months, and those have been run. Our medical classifiers are Harris, who's based in New South Wales in Sydney, and then our technical classifiers are all new. We actually did a lot of accreditation with them in December, and they did their first set of classifications then, and that's Sam Fennessy, he's based at UTS, Beth Bryan, she's based in Canberra, and then we've got Delwyn Oliver, who's based in Victoria and Melbourne, and then we've got Christine McLaren, who's based in South Australia at Sassy, and she's actually working quite closely with one of our crews at the moment, our double.
Okay, so Chad, the whole team is much bigger than it was in years gone by. Like once upon a time, the team was Eric Horry.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we've been able to over the last couple of years do some good talent ID, and we've introduced a couple of newbies into our squad. Even over the last 12 months, which has been really good, and that's one of our primary focus areas, is to bring new talent into the para squad. Just to bolster our depth, bolster our talent, bolster our skill level within the squad as well. So, and hopefully that all translates to boat speed and medals at the Paralympic Games.
So, is it fair to say the number 1 boat is Jed and Nikki?
Oh, I probably prefer to think that all three boats are at an equal level at the moment. I'm really excited for the double. I'm equally excited for Eric, and I think this 4 this year that we haven't quite selected yet, but it looks like it's in the making that it could be in the medal zone this year. So I'm pretty excited about all 3 boats that we've got on the starting line in Paris.
We spoke off air about a mutual friend, Karen Phillips, and Karen said to me yesterday when we saw Eric in the car park where we're saying, you know, wow, he looks well. He looks like he's muscled up a bit.
Yeah. We've really tried to change a lot of what he does over the last couple of years as well, through his rig, through his training program. We do a lot more hit work. He's ready, so we can work that top end a little bit more with him as well. So yeah, we've tried to change the way we do business with Eric, and he's responded really well with that.
So James, the 2,000 metre racing for para rowing obviously suits someone like Eric, as opposed to the days when he was racing against Big Tom from Great Britain, who was just a man mountain, and the 1,000 metres suited him down to the ground. But Eric's got the better physiology to row 2,000 metres. Yeah,
absolutely. The physiology of the event's really changed. I mean, in 2016, all the way up to 2016, we were running 1,000 metre races, and now we're in the 2K races. It stretched the field out initially, and then everyone sort of really caught up and ended up doing these really sort of long distance, like hard races. And we're seeing world records tumble every time we go to events in the World Cup season, because people are just getting quicker and quicker over that 2,000 metre distance. It's
fair to say it's no different to what happened when women went from 1,000 metres to 2,000 metres, and Adair Ferguson won the first World Championship for Australia in women's 2,000 metre racing, because she had the physiology to go 3,000 or 4,000 metres rather than the bigger, stronger girls who were so good over 1,000 metres. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're in a really great position in rowing, because World Rowing makes sure that we have a joined worlds with the Olympic pathway athletes and those that are getting ready for Olympic Games, and that's really helpful. It provides an environment that we can actually make sure we're optimising the performance of our entire para group, alongside our Olympic group.
Yep. So what will you do this year, Chad, with your para group prior to going to Paris?
Yeah, I think the next 2 events that we've got coming up is we do a May simulation regatta that simulates the first World Cup, and we'll do that here beginning of May. Then not too far after that, we travel to Europe and we base ourselves at the ETC for a little while in Italy, and then we'll do the 3rd World Cup in Poznan in Poland. We'll come home, spend 6-7 weeks at home, and then we'll go back over to the ETC and prepare the last 3 weeks in the ETC again. So.
For those listening at home, we love using initialisms and acronyms. ETC says has in Gavirate in Italy, and it's a wonderful facility, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And it's a home away from home for all of us, Olympic and Paralympic team, and we're really familiar with the setup there, with the food. Some of the locals, so it's a really good setup there, and it works out really well for us.
In 2022, I took my wife there for 10 days for an just for old times, to go there and visit the people that I got. So guys, we've got a busy afternoon of racing. It's great to have you both with us. We wish you as head coach and you as lead coach and the whole para team all the very best, and the best of luck and success in 2024. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us, Razor. Cheers.
To celebrate the partnership between Inglewood Coffee Roasters and Rowing Australia, Inglewood is giving away 1 year's supply of coffee to 5. Enter, simply scan any of the Inglewood details. The winners selected at random. Good luck. To producing anatomically correct rowing shoes. Supply teams. Designed by rowers, for rowers. Carbon fibre split sole for greater comfort. Transfer.
So we restart racing this afternoon with the repêchages of the under-21 lightweight women's single sculls. Race number 135 on our programme. In lane 1, representing Rockhampton Fitzroy Road, Thompson. The Charlotte Ball. And Florence Griffiths. In lane 4, representing Townsville and James Cook University, Nisha Hammond, coached by Harrison Parks. In lane 5, from the University of Queensland Boat Club, Scarlett. From the Australian National University, 7 from Unley High School. Lane 8, a second Rockhampton Fitzroy, by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson.
Thanks, Lizzie. Great to be back here this afternoon. On a race which is scheduled to begin about 5 to 5. So much to look forward to. Some repêchages, some heats as we go through day 2 here, the second part of day 2 of the 2024 Australian Rowing Championships. Now, first 4 here through to the A final, and this is looking very, very tight through the first part of the race. We'll get those splits to you very, very soon, and look at that. There is about 3 or 4 seconds from first all through to 6. That's quite incredible. 1:57.06. Scarlett Woodbury goes through the first checkpoint in from the Uni of Queensland. So this is shaping up as a very interesting race here, Lizzie.
It's so important for them, though. It's a selection race for the under-21 national team, and there are only a couple of lightweight women on the women's team. So everything to go for if that's their end goal, and nothing at all to lose, really, because it's so seldom we have under-21 lightweight races, especially of this quality.
Yeah, and they usually bring out some fantastic similar height, weight as well, so you usually get some very, very... It's amazing, isn't it? You've got basically 5 boats across that far side of the course, and there's only 4 that can go through. The top 4 to the A final, the bottom 4 to that right flank. As we're looking at it, you've got Kelly McRae on the far side, then Charlotte Ball from Melbourne Uni 1 in, Sydney Sarah Berretry in lane 3, Nisha Hammond from Townsville in 4, and then in 5, Scarlett Woodbury from Uni of Queensland, who was leading through the first 500. Looks as though she's still got that advantage, but Charlotte Ball from Melbourne University is certainly trying to pull back some ground as we near this halfway point. Just having a look at the heats yesterday, so 4th in their heat yesterday. Woodbury also finished in 3rd. Alex Perry-Dalton in 4th. Scullers are probably in the battle here for those spots in the A final, and that is certainly the case here. You can see that they're all up there in the top 4. Scarlett Woodbury leading them through. Perry 2-4 between Hammond and Ball, but there is the cliff edge in this one. The gap between 4th and 5th is 0.01 at the 1. Charlotte Ball in 2, Callie McRae in 1. So they're going to get a very, very good look at each other because they're right next to each other going into this back half of the race.
On the Sydney regatta, but championships.
Old habits die hard, don't they, Lizzie? I couldn't believe yesterday. Well, I can believe it, but it is still hard to sort of fathom in your head that it was 5 years since we were last here before COVID. That just, yeah, it's quite amazing. We've been Lake Barrington, we've been Victoria, we've been to WA. We're back here in Sydney this year, and the weather's turning it on here. So lunch break, look at this. This is a cracking field. Colours there, looking to make it through. There's only 4 that will go through, and you can see there's a bit of a run being made on this. Alex Perry Dalton certainly up there as well. Meters to go. So Alex third, Charlotte Ball 4th. Here's the gap though to keep an eye out for. So Sarah Berretry, she 5th, the Sydney Rowing Club sculler. So that gap has opened up somewhat. Callie McRae Shanks coming, getting through to the A final. It's going to come down to whether Sarah Berretry can pull back some ground on 4th place and force a really fast finish. But it's Woodbury out in front, Perry Dalton as well alongside her from ANU, and then Melbourne University, Charlotte Ball. They look to be the clear-cut top 3. 4th is going to be a good one, isn't it? Nisha Hammond and Sarah Berretry here coming into the last 250 metres. Can we see a lift out of Sarah Berretry, coached by Lockie Carter and Florence Griffiths? That's going to be the challenge here. Hardest part. Gassed. You want to get yourself through to an A final. It means so much to these athletes. And she's got about 200 metres to work here. The Sydney Rowing Club sculler to pull back Nisha Hammond from Townsville JCU. But Queensland in this under-21 through to the B final. So it's Scarlett Woodbury. Going to have Alex Perry. Berretry really trying to lift the rating here. You can pull back that gap on Nisha Hammond, but run out of water, and it will be ANU Alex Perry Dalton. Cross going to get 3rd, and Nisha Hammond. Sydney Rowing Club. She goes through to the A final. Berretry misses out in 5th place. Callie McRae is going to go through in 6th to the B final. In 8th place. So 8.
Confirming the results of our first repechage, in fact, I think our only repechage. Women's singles. University of from Melbourne, Townsville JCU. In 5th position, Sarah Berretry from Sydney Rowing Club. 6th, Callie McRae from Rockhampton Fitzroy. 7th, Scarlett Shanks from Unley High. And 8th, Layla Struthers from Rockhampton Fitzroy. Winning time 8 minutes. The first repechage of the lightweight men's single scull, and in lane 1 we have 2, Jason McKenzie, representing Brisbane State High School. In lane 3, Dylan Lee, representing Leichhardt Rowing Club. In lane 4, Adam Chang, representing Hawthorn Rowing Club. In lane 5, Hugo Worm from Adelaide University Boat Club. School. In lane 7, Beecher Ross, representing Lewin Harridge, representing
So a couple of heats in this event, and top 2 going through to the A final. Jason McKenzie through the first 1,000 in front, and he's from Brisbane State High, coached by Tom Riles and Tom Herborn. Jason McKenzie has dropped back to 2nd though at 1,500. Hugo Worm from Adelaide Uni just taking the advantage in that 3rd 500. Max Reardon out of the ACT, ANU Rowing Club. He's Max Reardon behind Jason McKenzie if he wants required to go through the repechage. Ross Lee rounding out the scullers in this race with just about 300 metres to go. It looks to be a bit of a battle here for first place. They're certainly moving these 2 scullers at the head of the course. That's Hugo Worm and Jason McKenzie. And they're clearly pulling away from the rest of the field. I think maybe they're just going to ease off as they head towards the red boys. Last 250 metres. Next closest, Lewin Harridge, but also Max Reardon from ANU. Max Reardon is over on the far side with the yellow boat. And those 2 are going to have to go through the repechage, provided these 2 can get through this last part of the race and get themselves through to the A final. They are sculling very, very nicely. Hugo Worm, coached by Sam Morton. He was in 2nd place earlier in the race. Jason McKenzie was leading the way at the halfway point, but he was able to pull through and take the advantage. Not that it really matters in the end, because they're both going to be going through to the A final in the under-21 lightweight men's single scull. So here comes Hugo Worm now up to the line to confirm his place in the A final in the under-21 lightweight men's single scull. He is joined now by Jason McKenzie from Brisbane State High School. And then 3rd is going to be pretty tight. There's a good push here from Lewin Harridge on the near side. It is going to be very, very close, and I'm not even going to pick that. That is a photo. Not that it'll matter too greatly, because they're both going through to the repechage. And, well, we made another photo. That's going to go to Beecher Ross. Hawthorn's Adam Chang crosses in 7th place. And then it will be Hayden Williamson in 8th place.
Results of race 136, our first heat in the under-21 lightweight. Worm. 2nd, Brisbane State High School sculler Jason McKenzie. Those 2 athletes progressed directly through to the A final. Progressing to the repechage, Jason McKenzie from, Max Reardon from ANU and Lewin Harridge from Melbourne University Boat Club. Actually, it was judged that Lewin came 3rd, Max came 4th. Beecher Ross from Adelaide Uni was in 5th position. 6th and 8th, Hayden Williamson from Hunter Valley Grammar School. Winning time 7 minutes 21. Harris in Lesu is in lane 3. Hunter Valley Grammar School's Luke Purdy is in lane 5. 6 and lane 7.
Purdy leading the way. Pleasure of rowing against him, Lizzie, throughout this season. And it's great to see a kid from the Hunter doing well. Leading the way here, 3:45 through that top 2 to get himself through to the A final. Second, Nate Lesu. Splits, don't you, or differences, probably at the 500, and we're seeing them at the 1,000. So it probably indicates that we're going to get a pretty tight race here for the 2 spots in the A final.
And it's interesting, isn't it? We always do get such fabulous racing in lightweight events because everybody's, as you said, the same proportions and the same, pretty much, and the same weight. There's the race to make weight before you actually get on the race course. And such a shame, really, that these will be that we see lightweight rowing. At the moment, just the lightweight double sculls are an Olympic event for both men and women.
Yeah, it is sad. It is, because we so look forward to the lightweight events at Nationals. And you just think, I just think about the lightweight races we get in the interstate as well. They're always the most entertaining, aren't they? Because they're so close. It's like 5 boats, 6 boats crossing the line at the same time. So.
And the level of discipline that you need to be on an exact weight at an exact point in time and then perform as well. You know, there's a lot of science and calculating and discipline that goes into it. So,
there is having a salad the night before instead of a steak. It's certainly a challenge, isn't it? So here we go. Luke Purdy is leading the way into the last 200 metres. He's done well just to extend that lead. Looks pretty comfortable there, sitting in first, having a little look at his competition, which are all there literally sitting right in front of him. He's got Kyle Miller from Adelaide Uni, who's been in second. So you just wonder whether Kyle Miller's going to be pushed here by the scullers on the far side. You've got George Bowditch, Ishan Shalika from ANU. You've also got, I should say, Nate Lesu from Unley, and then Garvin Hayes from Marist College, Canberra on the far side. So is there a little lift here coming? George Bowditch has just increased the rate, but Luke Purdy certainly dropped it off. He's in a very comfortable position, the Hunter Valley Grammar Sculler, but it's Kyle. Certainly a push coming from the far side, but it is going to. And Bowditch will be Purdy through to the 8. And Bowditch, Lesu. It will be Bowditch in 3rd, Lesu in 4th. 5th place, we're just going to drift over the line, is Garvin Hayes. Ishan Shalika crosses in 6th, and then 7th will go the way of Thomas Osborne from Unley High on this near side.
Confirming then that in our second heat of the under-21 lightweight men's single scull, a win for Luke Purdy of Hunter Valley Grammar School and a second for Kyle Miller of Adelaide University Boat Club see them progress directly through to the A final. The remainder will progress to the repechage, and the winning time provisionally was 7 minutes 39.11, the margin plus 2.56. our competitors in our next race, which is the first repechage of the under-23 lightweight men's single scull. So we're going up an age bracket now through to the A final and the next 4 across. In race number 139, the first repechage, we have Adelaide Rowing Club in lane 2, represented by Josh Ron Mobbs, the real Ron Tomanovitz. Sam 5 from the Cliff. Jonathan Jaschke. And in lane 6 from Fremantle, Jacob Sangster, coached by Alex Thompson. Good to have 2 WA scullers in the one race there.
And we've got one of them on screen at the moment. You can see there is Sam Parry from Toowong, and you've got University of WA's Oliver Cliff there in those WA with the sash. Just to the right of screen, Toowong, the yellow and blue. Very easy to notice there. And then you can't see just off screen is Mercantile's Tomanovitz. As we swing around, and you can see that pretty even over this start to the race. Sam Parry from Toowong's just dropped back a little bit, but may even be Sangster from Fremantle who is in front. But it's certainly those 4 boats that look to be pretty evenly matched as we head towards the first time check at the 500-metre mark. Don't forget as well that Sydney offers something for everyone. Dynamic multicultural neighbourhoods, Golden Beaches and national parks, exciting and innovative dining and retail, continually evolving arts and cultural offerings, and an action-packed calendar of world-class events.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that one.
You
Great
cannot
place
miss.
to live.
You cannot miss in Sydney, can you? There is so much going on, including the Australian Rowing Championships this week here at Penrith. And we have got those first timing checkpoints through for the 500. And you can see Sangster was ahead from Cliff, 0.49. So those 2 WA rowers, they know each other pretty well, I'd say, from competing against. In third from Victoria. Lassock was 3 seconds further back. And then remembering, it's the top 2 to keep an eye out for, and it's pretty tight to start this one.
It sure is. Sydney, the first 10 years, I think it was, championship. New South Penrith has been coming to Penrith to watch rowing. It's almost the home of rowing, I would say, with our wonderful Nepean River and National Training Centre as well, creating a real hub for rowing. But I think the women at the National Training Centre have been real advocates for Penrith, because they're always posting on Instagram these wonderful walks and climbing up the mountains and paddling around on the river, and they just make it, you know, they've really raised the profile, I think, of how beautiful it is to be here and what good leisure there is around here.
Yeah,
even
there's so
for
much
a
to do.
hard-working rower.
Well, they've even got a beach at Penrith now.
Yes,
they opened the beach, which is just up the road too. So, and really is a perfect spot for rowing, and it's turning it on this week, isn't the conditions here? Afternoon conditions here at Penrith, you couldn't ask for much better than this. This is amazing. As we see Sangster still leading, so Tomanovitz has taken over second spot, but only by 0.28 from Oliver Cliff. So those 2 are in a real ding-dong battle here. Sam Parry's closed the gap in 4th. Josh Lassock from Adelaide in 5th. So Sam Parry started a little bit slowly from Toowong, but he's getting into his work here. And I think based on that, he's going to have a lot in the tank here for the back end of the race. Based on the little bit of a slower start, that's obviously the way he likes to race, and you can see he's well and truly in this to try and make it into the top 2. Certainly Sangster with a good lead, about 3.5 seconds, but it is anyone's guess who's going to get the second spot. It could be It's Josh Lassick from Adelaide, certainly to the B final as it stands right now. It's back of screen now, almost colours, and always hard to tell from the angle exactly who's in front at this point. So we're going to have to wait for the final time check before the finish. One thing that is easy to tell is that Jacob Sangster is in front heading into the 1500 metre point.
Well, that's a big push there from Sam Parry, isn't it? He's really raised his rate of striking, looking very strong indeed, and challenging Alex Tomanovic from Mercantile very strongly. So, oh, here we go through the 1500, and he's just bow canvas down on him.
Yeah, so he's rode through Oliver Cliff, who's fallen away there a little bit in the third 500. Coming to get them here.
I reckon so.
0.78 further back on Tomanovic, but remember, he's just worked his way into this race quite beautifully, and he is looking to join Jacob Sangster from Fremantle in the A final. Remembering that the top two go through in this under-23 event. This is the first repechage of two, and you can. It is just superb conditions. Here we go. So Oliver Cliff has just dropped away. So Cliff and Lassick out of it at this point, and it is Tomanovic and Parry. And this is always a concern here for someone thinking, oh no, here we go. It's going to be a battle for second, and this is going to bring me into the equation as well. I'm going to have to lift my rating to get away from the battle for second. And look at this, Sam top two through to the A final. You know how much an A final means for it. There's a rapidly, but he's going to here. Parry and Tomanovic. It is Parry just in front by a canvas. Tomanovic trying to come at him, but Sam Parry, he has rode the perfect race there. He just worked into that so nicely, and he built throughout to get himself into the top two. He joined Sangster there in the A final, under 23. Absolutely gut-wrenching for Alex Tomanovic from Mercantile. He misses out just in third. Oliver Cliff in fourth, and Josh Lassick will finish in fifth.
What an amazing finish. I reckon Sam Parry took a length just in the last few strokes. So under 23 lightweight men's single scull has seen Jacob Sangster of Fremantle go through to the A final, and he will be joined by Sam Parry of Toowong with an amazing grandstand finish there, pushing out Alex Tomanovic of Mercantile. Fourth was Oliver Cliff of University of WA, and fifth Joshua Lascock. Our second repechage is now underway in the under-23 lightweight men's single scull, with Angus Dunstan of UTS Haberfield in lane 2, coached by Sam Fennessy and Alex Wenyon. In lane 3, Matthew Rickard of Black Mountain Rowing Club. In lane 6, Benjamin Whitmey of Mercantile Rowing Club. In lane 5, Angus Painter from Tasmania University, coached by Sean Finlayson, and in Club of Queensland, coached by Stephen Paul.
Righty, boys, we've got a lot to live up to try and get. So, here in the lightweights, Benjamin Whitmey with 2.23 seconds difference back to Painter. Rickard only 2.72 further back. So, not much in this one at the halfway point, especially when we look at Lizzie last year. I remember 6.19 in the single was the biggest margin pulled back in the last 500 to win.
He got some experience here with Angus Painter. He's been rowing since he was a schoolboy, and I think it was the Hutchins teaching sculling, and we would expect some really good performance from him, coached by Sean Finlayson. He and his, I think, at least one brother, along with the Mounter brothers, cruise over the years and doing well here at the beginning of this second repechage of the under-23 lightweight men's single scull.
1500 metre time check just about to be upon us. So it was Whitney from Mercantile leading the way at the 1K. Is that still the case at the 1500? He is on screen there. Going rather nicely. Yeah, that boat just cutting through the... We just... coloured Zudi of Angus Painter, coached by Sean Finlayson in second, and that gap's quite big now, isn't it? That is a big gap back. 6.19 I just mentioned, but...
Well, I was going to say, we've seen Mac back at the finish too. We might have another humdinger on our hands.
Well, it'll be an absolute classic if he can produce something special here. Matthew Rickard. Just depends whether how his mind is. Is his mind ready to go that deep here in the last 500 metres? So we'll see if he can pull it back. You can see both of them in the reddish Zudis. Those are the two that are fighting it out at the moment, because Benjamin Whitney place. Spot in the A final. Hang on. Draw. Away and Queensland and through from that first. He's going to go through, and he's going to be joined by Angus Painter from Tasmania University. So that's a nice spread in the under-23 lightweight men's single scull. Just to go through yet first in. Finishes in third place. Nicholas Langford in fourth.
Confirming the results of the second repechage of the under-23 lightweight men's single scull, a win for Benjamin Whitney of Mercantile Rowing Club. Second, Angus Painter from Tasmania University. Those two will progress through to the A final, and moving to the B final will be Matthew Rickard from Black Mountain third, Nicholas Langford from Commercial fourth, Angus Dunstan from UTS Haberfield fifth. The winning time for Benjamin Whitney, provisional 3.16. So we move from lightweight to from lightweight category, moving in the open lightweight women's in lane 2, coached by Sam Hutchison, Antoinetta Di Cosmo from Banks in lane 4, Hayley Rowe from University of WA in lane 5, and Lara Glendinning Asa from Melbourne University Boat Club is in lane. We've got the first 4 through to the A final here, just one repechage, and the remainder will go through to the B final. So we have five people racing, so one person to get dropped.
Now, just as we during this year, high performance coaches, these sessions provide an opportunity for community coaches to discuss a rowing related matter and seek advice in an informal setting. It's a great opportunity and it is free. The Rowing Australia coaches will be at the cafe behind the grandstand from 1:30 to 2:30. National Training Centre coaches Ellen Randall and Tom Westgarth, and they are at the cafe behind the grandstand, and they will be there until 2:30. So please take up.
What an opportunity. I have to say, from my own personal experience, there's not much about rowing that Ellen Randall and Tom Westgarth don't know. Amazing brains to go and pick. So if you've got any questions at all or need any advice, I couldn't recommend more strongly that you go and have a chat with lovely Ellen and Tom there. Beautiful people, fantastic coaches, very experienced from club right up through to Olympic level, and yeah, very sound advice you will receive there. Ellen, of course, has coached lightweight women for many years, and here in front of us, the Open Lightweight Women's Single Scull Repechage is seeing Antoinetta Di Cosmo from Banks Rowing Club. That's the pink zoot suit. She led right from the beginning, and she continues to lead as she... That third 500?
Yeah, the championship quarter that I'm going to... But that third 500, it is so... Where scullers, rowers, whatever boat you're in, are in their particular race, and right now we are seeing those top two, Di Cosmo and Rowe, through pretty comfortably. Of course, this for the Herald and Weekly Times Trophy, the Open Lightweight Women's Single. Third is Lara Glendenning. Fourth is Izzy Emery. So top four through to the A final, and this is where the gap is so important. Kelly Egan 6.34. That's a big margin with 500 to go. That's
it is.
It's looking.
There. Push. To say, not quite level pegging with Antoinetta Di Cosmo, and Antoinetta is pretty experienced, so she'll be keeping a close eye on Hayley Rowe, the young upstart from the University of WA, coached by Roland Warren, Mia Williams and Jonathan Jaschke.
Good. Very good contingent of Uni of WA.
Yeah, it's great to see so many.
Which is fantastic, isn't it? Because as you know, Lizzie, from coaching, it's so great to be able to train together, improve together.
Real momentum.
And here they left in this only repechage. Row from Uni of WA. Can they get a couple through here? Can they get this race through? It's looking pretty likely at the moment. And from Wendouree Ballarat, it looks to be too much of a gap there. So it is going to be in second. She's going to go through just WA through. Still a bit of work. In this open lightweight women's single scull.
So our final sculler progressing towards the finishing line now. That's Kana Kukumasa from Melbourne University. To the A, Hayley Rowe of the University. In third place, Lara University of WA. And progressing through to the B final will be Kelly Egan of Wendouree Ballarat with Kana Kukumasa of Melbourne University Boat Club. The provisional time for Hayley Rowe, a very fast finish there, was 8:19.97, and by the end she'd managed to get about 3.934 seconds over Antoinetta Di Cosmo. So a great finish for her there. And now that was the only repechage for the lightweight women's single scull, and we have one repechage also for the open lightweight men's single scull. And again, the first 4 will progress to the A final, with the remainder to the B final. We have 5 contestants. In lane 2, Jono Locke from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise in Queensland, coached by Anthony Cook. In lane 3, Jonathan Adams from ANU, the Australian National University there in lane 5, from Team Vietnam, Din Tae Duc, coached by Joe Donnelly. And in lane 6, Sam Casey from Tasmania University.
And they are through the first part of the course. So just one misses out here. It's going to be unfortunate for that one sculler that misses out. Who can get themselves into the A final in the open lightweight men's single scull? And you can see the under-17 women's double is not far away. You can see all those scullers heading down the course. Got a pretty packed grandstand as well for this Tuesday afternoon of racing, which is great to see. Plenty of exciting racing coming up until 5 p.m. this afternoon. So just over a minute through, just past the 250, plenty of hard work to go for these scullers. And you can see at the moment, it looks as though it's Jonathan Adams from ANU who's just dropped off the pace a little bit of the 4 that seem to be a little bit further up the course. Maybe deceptive based on the angle here, but certainly it looks as though Jordan Roberts in a good position there from Mercantile. Jono Locke as well. So too Din Tae Duc from Team Vietnam. And Sam Casey just off screen, Tasmania University, Sam Casey on the near side. And we'll get our first time check in just a few seconds here as the boys come up through the first 500 metres, and it is Jordan Roberts from Din Tae Duc, Jono Locke in 3rd, then Casey, Jonathan Adams currently in the elimination spot, or go through to the B final. So there you can see out in front, Jordan Roberts from Mercantile alongside Din Tae Duc from Team Vietnam, and then Jono Locke in 3rd place, Sam Casey in 4th. But this is the all-important duel between Adams and Casey. Now, we were just having a chat there, Lizzie. There would only be one sculler that would go through to the B final. Maybe it would if the sculler wanted to, but I assume probably not.
Well, the only reason I can think of would be that you get a ranking then, a national ranking. But given that there are only 2 potential people going through to the national team, possibly 3 if you had a reserve, with that ranking, and trials have been and gone, so the yeah, I would wonder whether you would do it. So a good technical question, and I'm sure our colleague Owen Nix would know the answer.
I think he's coming in next, Darren.
There we go, we can pick his brains.
So there are the top 2. So Din Tae Duc has just moved in front of Jordan Roberts through that second 500, and Jono Locke has dropped back a little bit, or Sam Casey has just lifted things a little, because Jonathan Adams now is further back in 5th place. Still half the race to. And you can just see that's the under-17 women's double. That's coming up next. We've got some repechages in that event. So if you're keen, if you're here to watch that, do not fear, is coming up right after this race. We've got the under-17 women's double, under-17 men's double as well. So plenty of school racing Not that it is a school event as such, but there's plenty of schools involved in the underage racing, which is going to be great this afternoon.
Razor and I were talking about that earlier today, about what a high standard the under-17 doubles is. The under-17 singles, great. Best he's seen. So is trying to make the final.
Yeah, and you know,
yeah,
making a drive for the future, and these two. Dinte Duke, coached by Joe Donnelly, leading from Jordan Roberts of Mercantile. So those two look to be in a comfortable position to get themselves through to the A final. It's the race on behind to make it through. I'm just having a look here. So those other rowers that are in the A final already: Zigata, Batt, McCoy, Patterson. So those are the final in this open lightweight men's single. Dinte Duke looking good to join them. He finished third in the heat yesterday, so probably now comes through Sam Casey. Jonathan Adams in fourth. In about third, I'm pretty sure, at the 500. 1,000 he was in fourth, so he has really dropped off the back, and Roberts, I should say Adams, has come through and snatched that fourth spot. So you just wonder, Jono Locke really pushed out hard early. Has he got something here at the back end to force the issue to try and get himself back in that top four? And the water's just getting better and better. I think the last 300 metres looks as good as it has in the last half an hour at least. And Dinte Duke is loving everything about these conditions. He's sitting there in first place. Jordan Roberts, those two are going to have a very comfortable row. So too Sam Casey from Tasmania University. Jonathan Adams from ANU, who's looking at Jono Locke from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, who's further back in fifth place. So it looks pretty comfortable now for the top four to make it through to the A final in this open lightweight men's single scull. We're going to have an international flavour to it as well, which is just, it will be Dinte Duke, coached by Joe Donnelly from Team Vietnam. They are going to have a single scull final. Jordan Roberts from Mercantile Rowing Club. And then third place will be Sam Casey from Tasmania University. And Jonathan Adams from ANU is going to come through in fourth. Jono Locke in fifth place.